And welcome back. I'm Rick Rudabay.
Rudabay.
Yes, you are. And this is our continuous coverage. It's 5 o'clock, and that means a new advisory for Irma.
Let's get over to Craig Setzer right away. You just got that information, Craig.
Yeah, it just came in. I tried to slam the graphics together as quickly as I could because I have to move those little points around so that they match up with the time positions here. But let's first talk about what's going on and then what the new advisory shows us. First off, we were going to be talking in the coming days, I hate to say because this is going to be a long event, the latitude and longitude. Latitude, the last position at 2 o'clock was 22.0. It's 22.1, which means it's made a little northward progress. And this was 76.0. It's now 76.5. So still going more west than north. And we can also tell that by the direction of motion there. 280, which is slightly north of due west. And the reason I'm showing this as opposed to just the big W there is because every 5 or 10 degrees that it turns, potentially has an impact in South Florida as to where the worst of the weather would go. Speed's 12 miles an hour. It's gradually slowing down. One of the things we know about tropical cyclones, hurricanes, and tropical storms is that as they round a high pressure feature or a steering current in the atmosphere, as they anticipate a turn, well, they don't really anticipate, they're carried along. As they are carried along through a turn, they slow down a little bit. So they're going this way, and then they come to a point where the steering winds are starting to lighten up, giving them the opportunity, or giving it the opportunity to go north. So that speed coming down is expected. There's no surprises here. This is all expected. What is concerning is that the wind is still so high. When it came down to Category 4 today, and I saw some headlines in places that said Irma decreases to Category 4. The winds had only dropped about 10 miles an hour, and we're still up in this range here. Now we're just shy of Category 5. Category 5 is 157 miles an hour. So we are right at Category 5 or just slightly below it. And that is the wind in the core, not the whole storm, just in the core. And the reason that we talk so much about the core, the eye wall, is because where that goes, that's where there's going to be the most damage. That's where, if it's over water approaching land, there's going to be the greatest storm surge. That's where, if it goes over land, there will be the most destruction. That's the most dangerous part. But because we don't know, because it's rounding this high pressure block in the atmosphere, we don't know exactly where it's going to make that turn. We have to all prepare for the possibility of a Category 4 storm. So let's go into motion here, and I'll show you what the forecast track is. Oops, it just zipped on through. All right, so I'm going to have to go back and reset these points, but this was the Saturday evening, 8 p.m. time frame, very close to the coast of Cuba there. Now, there is the possibility there may be some land interaction, and that might also impact the intensity, but this is what really should jump out to everybody. The forecast intensity is to go back up to Category 5 and go through the Keys, because the only way to get to Florida, unfortunately, this way coming from the south, is through the Keys. So I think it can't be impressed upon people enough, especially in the Keys, how bad of a situation this is. The last time there was a Category 5 hit the Keys, it was in 1935. It was called the Great Labor Day Hurricane. Hundreds and hundreds of people were killed. What happened was the storm formed in the Bahamas. It marched east, intensified very quickly. It was a small hurricane, kind of like an Andrew. It came through the upper Keys. There was a train that they sent down from Miami to try to rescue people. They had a bunch of workers working on a project to build bridges down there. And they sent the train down, and the storm surge came over, and it washed the train off the tracks. Laid on its side, people in the train literally stood on the cars and on the seats in the cars of the train to try to keep their head above water. The storm was so powerful they found bodies from the Keys over here in southwest Florida. They were washed across the bay. This is an extremely serious situation. So for those in the Keys who say, I've ridden them out, you may not ride this one out. This one also may take out the bridges. The mayor yesterday in Key West was talking about losing connection with the mainland, that they could build boat bridges and things like that. The possibility is very real that the 7-mile bridge, or parts of it, could be just washed off its foundation and separating the lower Keys from the rest of South Florida, or even the middle Keys, quite possibly. So this is a very serious situation. I don't know the status of the evacuations. I've been following the meteorology a little more closely, but if in any way there's still evacuations going on, you just need to get out of the Keys, by all means.
I was going to ask you about that. We saw some people as late as last night. There were mandatory evacuation orders in the Keys, and we saw some people even as far as Key West who were planning just to stay there. They were drinking at a bar and planning just to tough it out. Obviously, a horrible idea. But for people in the Keys who are watching us right now with this latest advisory, what's the advice now?
Well, get out. I mean, number one, you're not going to survive the storm surge event because that's what kills people. It's not a rain flood. This is the ocean coming over the island chain and into Florida Bay here. And you may not survive the wind, although very few deaths occur from the wind directly. Only 1 in 10 of hurricane deaths are from the wind. But this is a tremendous now storm surge event. And this has great implications on the southwest coast too, because this not wall of water, oh please don't let me say that. This mound of water that's going to be rushing along with the center there and the eye wall, the core of the storm, is going to wash up against the southwest coast. There could be very, very deep inundation. This area is not very heavily populated, so that's good news there. But as we saw up with Charlie and stuff, Bonita Springs is up here, Fort Myers, of course, Marco Island, that area there, very much under the gun. Now, let me answer the question, is this good news for us? Because, oh, look, we're almost out of the cone. Everybody at home should shake their head, no, this is not good news for us. We're still going to feel a hurricane here. Unfortunately, they may feel it more severely in the Keys and just west of here. Right now, and I didn't check the latest advisory, I'll have to check that too. The last advisory had the eye 40 miles wide. That's a 40-mile swath, or about a 50-mile swath of 150-mile-an-hour winds moving along and just creating destruction wherever it goes. So back to our message of when are we going to know where that thing's going to go, that core? Not till tomorrow night.
I want to talk to you about storm surge, Craig, if we can, just a minute, as we look at the sort of the tilting, the westward tilting of that cone right there. We have a lot of viewers here in South Florida who live in western Broward, Weston, of course, and Parkland and Sunrise and all of those areas up there. Does this mean, if it does shift west and is more of a sort of a direct hit on the southwest coast, that the people in West Broward in our viewing area are going to find themselves in more trouble?
Right. So hurricanes have what we call gradients to their wind, meaning that it gets stronger, stronger, stronger. Some of them have bands of very strong winds that spread out from the center. Some of them have the strongest winds right at the center. Unfortunately, when a hurricane makes a turn, has some land interactions, and is starting to go north like this, the wind field may spread out. We don't know for sure. We'll have a better idea when the hurricane makes this turn. This is tomorrow night. The hurricane hunters are going to be flying this thing like crazy, and they will tell us how big that wind field is. So probably by tomorrow night, and see, we're still 24 hours away, we'll have an idea about western Broward, western Miami-Dade, areas like that. Is it going to be more inland type of event? And we still can't rule out the possibility that the later models this evening start to come back east with it again. So the bottom line here is, I know I've kind of gotten the serious face now, but the bottom line here is that the message for South Florida has not changed at all. There's still the possibility of a major hurricane event in South Florida. Of course, somewhere in the Keys, because guess what? The Keys stretch out from Key West all the way up to Elliott Key up there in Biscayne Bay. They cover the entire cone. So the Keys, somewhere in the Keys, the core is going to go. But we being on the eastern edge of the cone there, that just means that we're on the edge where it's possible for the core to go. So let me just move along here real quickly and just show you one more graphic, and then we'll answer some more questions. This is going to be, and I guess I should stress this a little bit more too, this is not only our problem. This is going to be the entire state's problem, and it's going to be a storm surge flood event, especially if the storm stays just offshore. But even onshore, once that center passes to the north, the winds will switch around to an onshore flow, and the water's going to come rushing in behind the storm into the areas here. I haven't been able to talk to the folks in Tampa. I'm sure they're under evacuation orders. They've got to be, because this is a very, very life-threatening situation. And also on the East Coast as well, the wind field's so big, there's going to be the storm surge that's riding all the way up the East Coast. Now, for our friends that may be watching North Florida, the threat is still there in the Carolinas, along the Georgia coast, and even in the Florida Panhandle, and then deeper up into the southeast U.S. There's a rainfall threat with the system up there. Let me show you just a couple more graphics, then we'll go through the questions. This is this thing I've been talking about, this hurricane force wind graphic, and it shows the probability of hurricane force winds, and you can see The numbers extremely high in the middle Keys, Vaca Key on down to Key West now. And yesterday, Key West number was, I think it was 12. Look at it now, it's 54. So people that were thinking, oh, we're not going to have a hurricane, and we said, you know, the possibility it could shift west. Well, it looks like there is a little bit of that possibility now. And then right into Naples, Fort Myers, these areas here really could feel the brunt of this area. So up the East Coast there, you can see the wind speed probabilities. They've gone down just a little bit, but remember, Key West yesterday was 12. We've been up to 54, 56. We're now down to 23. We could go back up if the cone shifts a little bit. So we shouldn't get too comfortable in this feeling that this is a westward shift. If the storm is still, what, 36 hours away, this is not a time to relax at all.
Looking at the Keys there on those graphics, it just looks so devastating. So give us an idea of the aftermath of the storm after it passes. You mentioned the bridges could be wiped out, how long it'll take first responders to get there, because it's going to even take a long time to get aid to South Florida in general. So I can't imagine even getting to those little islands in the Keys, what's left of them.
So the initial response will be by air. The Coast Guard does an amazing job after a hurricane, getting down even in bad weather and trying to be the first on the scene to take care of it. But you know, there's a lot. If you drive through the Keys, it's a fishing kind of thing here. So there's a lot of boats in the Keys, a lot of boats. I just shudder to think of the destruction.